All right, you just heard James Clyburn, the president's closest friend and confidant. And many people say because of his help in South Carolina, he made President Biden the president that he is. Anyway, the House Assistant Democratic leader reviewing this kerfuffle back and forth over classified documents said that the president will be vindicated, that he's a good man, and all this goes away. I'm cutting to the chase there. Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State with us, the former CIA director, Fox News contributor, author of Never Give an Inch, Fighting for the America I Love, kind enough to join us. Now, Secretary, I think you got the gist of that from Congressman Clyburn. He supports the president, says it's very different than the Donald Trump example, that he's cooperating, that is Joe Biden with authorities, whereas Donald Trump did not, and it got to the point where Donald Trump's home had to be invaded because he did not. What do you think?
Well, Neil, it's great to be with you. Can we just agree on this? Classified documents ought to be kept in the place that classified documents are supposed to be kept by everyone. Whether you're a enlisted soldier, whether you're the President of the United States, whether you're working in the Department of Energy, wherever it might be, or the former CIA director, keep the stuff where it's supposed to be kept. Second, can we not make this political? Can we hold accountable those who do this wrong? I've watched lots of young soldiers be administratively prosecuted for letting information get where it wasn't supposed to be, and yet some of America's most senior leaders seem to think that, nope, it's okay, put it by your Corvette, all good. We ought to have a single set of rules for everyone. We ought to enforce those rules, and most senior leaders ought to take the most sensitive information and put it only where we're supposed to store our most sensitive information. It's pretty simple, Neil.
No, you raise a lot of very good ideas. Mine have to do with more basic nature of handling of documents themselves, sir, and it concerns how it happens in the first place that the National Archives or any government entity can lose sight of the fact that they're missing documents. Could there be a better system in place? I've often advanced it here on this show, Secretary. Handle it like a library does. You check out a document or you have a document, they know about it. The librarian in my town, she'll track you down to your home to get it. So why isn't there anything like that? I mean, this is important stuff. Someone borrows something, they have to give it back.
I'm with you. Look, I handled an awful lot of classified information in all three of my roles as a member of Congress on the House Intelligence Committee, then as CIA Director and Secretary of State. Many of the documents I handled were very sensitive. They were numbered documents. There was somebody standing outside the door to pick it up and take it back when I was finished reading it. I was only reading it in a place that was authorized to do it when I was in the executive branch. That was often different places in the world, but always inside a facility that everybody said, yep, you can have it there. It's authorized to be there. We tracked it. I don't know how these folks decided to take this information, not just information that was classified. You know, sometimes you have something and somebody says, oh, that statement is classified, but these appear to be documents that were marked as classified. I don't know how those documents get to places that they shouldn't be, and I don't know why the system doesn't track them. We have to do better.
You know, I'm sure as the Secretary of State, you had the highest of all, classified clearances, and I'm just wondering, when you would write a book, or even this latest book, did you ever personally try to get documents, borrow them for the purpose of research, clear them with the proper authorities for use in your book or for reference in your book?
The book that I just finished, Never Give an Inch, was fully cleared, making sure that it didn't contain classified information. 3 places, Neil. The CIA cleared it, the State Department cleared it, the Biden White House cleared it as well. I did go back and look at my schedules from my time in office. I don't think I asked to review any classified documents to assist me in it, but I was always careful not to make sure I didn't just write down something that was classified. Right? You can create a classified document from your own mind for something you remembered or had previously read. I did my best to make sure that didn't happen either. That's the way you handle this kind of information that puts our soldiers, sailors, airmen, puts them all at risk if it gets into the wrong hands.
Do you distinguish between the handling of classified documents under Donald Trump versus the handling of classified documents under Joe Biden?
I don't know enough about the situations. It is different if one has them and you find out you made a mistake and you do your best to cooperate with authorities. That's different from not turning them over. But I don't think we know the facts. I don't think we know the facts in either situation exactly yet. Every elected official, every Everybody who touches American class that information has the responsibility to handle it right. And if you get it wrong, you make a mistake, you take it someplace you shouldn't have, to disclose it, raise your hand saying, I got it messed up, and how can I make sure that we contain this? So I don't see any difference in the duty and the responsibility at all, Neil. None.
Secretary, too, if I can veer to this debt limit that we're facing tonight at midnight, when we technically run out of money. We don't run out of literally, but we can't borrow any more money, can't spend any more money, because we'll be at our ceiling at $31.4 trillion, incomprehensible figure. But there's going to be a lot of fighting now between Democrats and Republicans about how to settle this. Some of the new members, some of the more boisterous members in Congress who extracted concessions from Kevin McCarthy want to see to it that spending concessions are made to decide whether that debt limit gets raised or not. Democrats counter, and you just heard from Congressman Clyburn, not going to happen. Just raise the debt limit. Don't attach spending requirements to it. So that seems to beg for imminent shutdown down the road. I don't know how long it will take. Maybe something worse. Do you worry about that?
We'll figure it out. Our democracy can withstand this moment. What our democracy can't withstand is, you talked about 31.4 trillion being big. It's 31.4 trillion and climbing, Neil.
You're right.
And someone's got to get serious about doing that. And so I've been through these on both sides. I went through this as a brand new member of the Tea Party class of 2010 as a member of Congress. I lived through some of these shutdown fights when I was a Secretary of State, where we had to figure out a way to make it go. It's a blunt, a very crude instrument to use the debt ceiling to reduce spending. The appropriations process is a better way. But boy, we need to get at least the American people's attention focused on this in a way that permits the political process to deliver outcomes that my son, and if I have grandkids someday, they're not sitting under $131 trillion in debt, and we end up in a really bad place where the dollar's not the reserve currency anymore.
Do you worry about that could happen? And the reason why I mention it is in the context of dealing with this debt. In the interim, we're going to have to make some tough choices, what to keep funding. Presumably, Social Security recipients and Medicare recipients would continue getting paid, and those who hold interest on our debt or our bonds would continue getting paid, and our soldiers would be taken care of. But they're going to run out of options. At that point, what do you do?
Yes, these prioritization games are often prove incredibly difficult, because everybody thinks the thing that they're doing, if they're a federal official working at a national park, you name it, they think their thing is the most important. But it is important. It is important for the American people to see all of the places that their federal government spends this money. These prioritization processes kind of lay that out. People get a chance to say, whoa, this is huge. So there is a educational element that is important as well. In the end, you got to pay your bills. I am confident that the United States government will do so. I only worry that we will not begin to change the trajectory of the American economy by growing it, and American spending by reducing it.
In the meantime, you're running for president, aren't you?
Good throw, Neil. Nice try. Yeah, I like that. I like that. A little passive aggressive, perfect. Look, we're doing all the things that one would do to get ready, but we're still trying to figure our way through it. We don't have anything to announce today.
Would it be impacted at all by Donald Trump? I mean, he is running. He's the only announced candidate. You worked with him, and obviously he has said of Ron DeSantis, of course, if he runs, to paraphrase, it would be a little disloyal. He's done a lot for them. Do you feel that way?
Oh, goodness, no. I was incredibly loyal to America and to the work that President Trump wanted done. The American people will decide who the next Republican nominee is, and anybody who throws their hat in the ring has the responsibility to go out, compete, make their case, make the arguments to the people of Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, and let the American people sort through who they think ought to lead this country forward.
See, I thought I'd catch you off guard, Secretary, but obviously I did not. But very good seeing you. Have a good week, good weekend.
Thank you, Neil. You have a good week, too.
All right, Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State, and who knows?